My daughter slid a crayon drawing across the dinner table. It was our family. Me, her, and my wife, Sarah. But there was a fourth person, a man with a weird, blocky head holding my wife's hand. "Who's that, sweetie?" I asked, forcing a smile. My daughter pointed a chubby finger. "That's Mark, Mommy's special friend." My heart stopped. Sarah just laughed it off, a strained, high-pitched sound. Oh, kids and their imaginary friends. But I saw the flicker of panic in her eyes. I knew then. My world, the one I'd built for 15 years, was a lie. If you've ever felt that gut-wrenching drop, that moment where everything you believed in shatters, hit that like button and subscribe. You're going to want to see how this ends. The change in Sarah had been gradual, almost unnoticeable at first. Late nights at the office, hushed phone calls, she'd end the moment I walked in. She started dressing up more, not for me, but for her client meetings at fancy restaurants I'd never heard of. She'd come home smelling of expensive perfume I didn't recognize, and a cold indifference that chilled me to the bone. The woman I married, the one who'd laugh at my dumb jokes and hold my hand during scary movies, was gone. In her place was a stranger, a polished, distant shell, who looked at me with something bordering on contempt. I tried to talk to her, to bridge the growing chasm between us. But it was like talking to a brick wall. "You're being paranoid," she'd say, her voice dripping with annoyance. "I'm just busy. My career's finally taking off." That night, after my daughter was asleep, I couldn't shake the image of that drawing, Mark. The name echoed in my head. I did something I never thought I'd do. I went through her phone while she slept. Felt like a violation, a betrayal of trust. But my own trust had already been pulverized, and there it was. A whole separate life, documented in texts and pictures. Mark. He was a senior partner at her firm. There were messages about secret lunches at the Gauge, about late-night drinks at the Aviary. "Can't wait to see you," one text read. "Last night was incredible." Another said, "He has no idea. He's so wrapped up in his own little world, my world. The world where I worked 2 jobs so she could chase her dream career. The world where I coached my daughter's soccer team and made sure dinner was always on the table. It's that world." The air left my lungs. I stumbled into the bathroom and stared at the man in the mirror. His face was pale, his eyes hollow. I didn't recognize him. I slid down the cold tile wall, the phone clutched in my hand, and for the first time in my adult life, I broke. A silent, gut-wrenching sob escaped my lips, the kind that tears you apart from the inside out. All the love, the years, the sacrifices, it all curdled into a thick black poison in my veins. The next morning I woke up, and something inside me had changed. The grief was still there, a cold, heavy stone in my chest, but it was now encased in ice. I put on a mask. I smiled at breakfast. I kissed Sarah goodbye as she left for work, the same way I always did. She didn't notice a thing. She was too busy checking her reflection in the hall mirror. That day, I hired a private investigator, a discreet, expensive one recommended by a lawyer friend. I also started my own file. I installed a keylogger on her laptop. I placed a voice-activated recorder in her car. Every lie, every secret meeting, every stolen moment was now being documented. I became a ghost in my own life, watching her from the shadows. I listened to recordings of her laughing with him, telling him things she never told me. I saw receipts for hotel rooms downtown, for gifts I knew weren't for me. The evidence piled up, a monument to her deceit. Each new piece of proof was another twist of the knife, but it also fueled the cold fire that had started to burn inside me. The hurt was morphing into something else, something harder, sharper. It was a methodical, patient rage. I let it go on for 3 more months, 3 months of playing the fool, of smiling and nodding while my insides were screaming. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done. On our 16th anniversary, I made a reservation at Alinea, the one place she'd always dreamed of going. I bought her a diamond necklace, the kind she'd pointed out in a magazine months ago. She was ecstatic. She thought I was trying to win her back, to fix our rough patch. She preened all night, showing off the necklace, taking selfies. She even held my hand across the table. Her touch felt like ice. She had no idea she was dining at her own execution. The next day was the annual company awards dinner for her firm, a massive black tie event at the Four Seasons. Her entire professional world would be there. Her bosses, her colleagues, her clients. And Mark, he was set to receive the Partner of the Year award. She was so proud, so arrogant. I arrived an hour after she did, making sure she was settled in, laughing with her friends. I had timed it perfectly. I wasn't on the guest list, but a crisp $100 bill and a nod to the event manager got me in. I walked to the front of the grand ballroom, right up to the podium where the CEO was giving his opening remarks. He stopped, confused. A hush fell over the room. 200 pairs of eyes turned to me. Sarah's face went white. I saw Mark sitting at the head table, a smug smile frozen on his face. I tapped the microphone. "Good evening, everyone," I said, my voice calm and steady. I apologize for the interruption. My name is David Miller. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sarah Miller's husband. I paused, letting the words hang in the air as I looked directly at her. I just wanted to personally congratulate Mark Davenport on his award tonight. He's certainly been a dedicated partner. And then I played my hand. On the two massive screens on either side of the stage, a slideshow began. Not of company logos, but of text messages. Photos of Sarah and Mark kissing outside a hotel. Transcripts of their phone calls, detailing their affair and how they mocked me. I had a full audio clip of them laughing about how I was paying for her business trips. The room was dead silent, except for the sound of Sarah's recorded laughter echoing through the speakers. I watched as every head turned from the screen to her, then to Mark. The color drained from his face. His wife, who was sitting beside him, started to scream. The CEO was trying to get security, but it was too late. The damage was done. I had copies of the entire file sent to the firm's board of directors, their biggest clients, and Mark's wife's divorce attorney precisely 10 minutes before I walked on stage. His career was over. Her reputation obliterated. I turned and looked at Sarah one last time. Her face was a mask of pure, unadulterated horror. The woman I had loved was gone, and in her place was a ruin. I didn't feel triumph. I didn't feel joy. I just felt empty. I walked out of that ballroom and never looked back. I moved out the next day. The divorce was quick and brutal. She got nothing. The prenuptial agreement held, and my evidence of infidelity made sure of it. I got the house, full custody of my daughter, and my life back, or what was left of it. Sometimes I drive by our old house, the one she now lives in with her mother because she couldn't afford it alone. The lawn is overgrown, the paint is chipping. It's a hollow shell, just like her. I have my daughter, and we're building a new life, a quiet one. But every night before I go to sleep, I remember the look on her face in that ballroom. And I remember that hollow feeling inside me. Vengeance isn't sweet. It doesn't heal you. It just leaves you alone in the quiet with the ghosts of what used to be. The best revenge, I've learned, is not a grand, fiery explosion. It's a cold, empty room.